Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to session 3 of our today's discussion. And I think we are not going to do a lot. Then after this class, I'll be able to show you what you are supposed to focus on. Okay, so it is not necessary or important for you to start solving math now up to 02. You might end up failing, but you need enough time to rest. Without wasting much of your time, let's start with rational functions. Okay, so for this type of rational function, I'm going to teach you two things. Let me just say three things. The question that they like asking about the rational functions, I'll start with the question that we have here, which is this question here. Now this question is just saying, actually says, they will say sketch the graph of the graph of the following function, state their domain and range, clearly identify all intercept and asymptote. This is the type of the question that we are expecting tomorrow, and for those who are going to write after tomorrow. Okay, so you need to understand and know how to find the domain. Now, how do we find the domain of a rational function? A rational function can never be a over 0 or a 0 over 0. I can never have 0 on the denominator. Therefore, to find the domain of any rational function, get what is on the denominator. Now we are solving part A, which is 2x plus 8 equate not equal to 0. Solve for x. So 2x is not equal to negative 8. I've shifted 8 to the other side. Divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2. These two will cancel. Therefore, x is not equal to negative 4. Then I can clearly see that the domain is all real numbers except negative 4. So starting from negative infinity all the way to negative 4, not included, union, starting from negative 4 all the way to positive infinity. Who is behind on how to find the domain? Perfect. Another thing that we need to take note, guys, is this. Another thing that we need to take note, you can show the domain in set interval notation, which is this one, or in set Boolean notation. The domain x is such that x is not equal to negative 4, comma, x is a member of all real numbers, just like that. In other books, they will tell you to say the domain is x is a member of all real numbers, then they say x is not equal to negative 4, like this. It's basically the same thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we find the domain of any rational function. Without wasting much of your time, let us find the domain of part 2. No, part 2 is the same as this other one. Let's go and find the domain of part E. Get the denominator minus 5 not equal to 0. The product is positive 4. The sum, the product is negative 5. The sum is positive 4. Factors is positive 4 and positive 5 and negative 1. So that when I do positive 5 minus 1 is positive 4. Positive 5 times 1, it will give me positive 4. When you reach at this point, you know that there is positive 1 here. The coefficient of x squared is positive 1. These are your answers. X plus 5 and x minus 1 not equal to 0. Therefore, x should never be equal to negative 5 and x should never be equal to 1. This is my domain. So then, the domain will be from negative infinity all the way to negative 5, union from negative 5 all the way to 1, union from 1 all the way to positive infinity. This is my domain. Any question on how to find the domain of rational function? I'm not getting you. I don't know if my network is not okay or is your network. Okay. Anyone who has got a question on how to find the domain of rational function. These are the questions we're expecting tomorrow and the other day. I don't know when you're going to write 1100. Hmm. Yes, madam. Ask your question again. If the denominator is a quadratic equation, you know what it means when I say quadratic, right? If it is x squared. Okay. Let's talk about the range. To cut the story short, let's not waste time here. To cut the story short, if you know how to find the domain, then you know how to find the asymptote. The domain is basically the vertical asymptote. The range is the horizontal asymptote. So for question 1, I know that we found that the domain, it was x is not equal to -4. When we come back and start now talking about the asymptote, you should not be confused, because the vertical asymptote, instead of saying not equal to, then we will say x is equal to -4. Who is behind? The other one, the vertical asymptote will be x is equal to -5 and x is equal to 4, or x is equal to 1. The ones where we said not equal to. Then when we're talking about the asymptote now, you just say equal to. Who is confused? Which is good. Okay. Okay, but you're okay on how to find the domain, right? Let's continue then. Let's talk about the range. How do we find the range? If the function is bottom heavy, I'll start with part 1. If the function is bottom heavy, the range, you say y is not equal to 0. What do we mean when we say the function is bottom heavy? The degree of x on the denominator is greater than the degree of x on top. That function is considered as bottom heavy. Y is not equal to 0. Just like that. Stop wasting time and finding the range, and then, or you find the inverse. That is, we're dealing with time here. We don't have enough time. Even tomorrow when you're writing test, we don't have enough time. You can't start finding the inverse. If the function is bottom heavy, y is not equal to 0. That is the range. Let's go back to this. How can I find the range for part 2? Considering the fact that the denominator and the numerator have got the same degree of x. This is x to the power 1, this is x to the power 1. You divide the coefficient. Y is not equal to, the coefficient here is -1, the coefficient here is 1. Y is not equal to -1 over 1. So therefore y is not equal to -1. So the range, you know how to put it, from negative infinity all the way to 0, union 0 all the way to positive infinity. For this one, negative infinity all the way to -1, not included, union -1 all the way to positive infinity. Who is behind on how to find the range? No, if you raise your hand, I'm not going to be able to see your hand. So it's just to ask. Just unmute yourself and ask. It's normal. That's normal. Not everyone can understand, but I can try my best. Mm-hmm. Yarikosa. Yarikosa. Okay, here is the thing, guys. We are saying, but you are all okay on how to find the domain, right? Anyone who is behind on how to find the domain? No one is behind. How to find the range? We have people who are still behind, right? Yes. Let's start with the first one. If the function is bottom heavy, what do we mean by bottom heavy? The degree of x down here is greater than the degree of x down here is greater than the degree of x on top here. On top I don't have x. Initially I have x, but it's x to the power 0. Now this function is bottom heavy because x down is greater than x on top. So range, in that case, you just say y is not equal to 0. Then you say the range starting from negative infinity to 0, union 0 all the way to positive infinity. The one who was behind, are we together now? Yes. The way this function is, the bottom and on top there we have got the same number of the degree of x. What I mean is, this is x to the power 1, this is also x to the power 1. So this function has got the same degree of x on top and down. Then you divide. Y is not equal to, divide this, negative x divided by x. Negative x divided by x. If I say the coefficient, maybe you are getting confused. So y would be not equal to negative 1. So the range now starting from negative infinity to negative 1, union negative 1 to positive infinity. Those people who are confused, are we now together? Yes, we are together now. Nice. If that's true. Using this concept we have given you right now, can you guys go ahead and tell me the range of this? Let's do fast. Time is not with us. What's the range? Hmm? Thank you. Based on that information I gave you, what is the range for part E? Let's do fast. Are we all in support with 0? No. Yes, please. The one who is saying no. This function is bottom heavy. We have got x to the power 2. Here is just x to the power 1. So y is not equal to 0. The one who is saying no. Now, let us go ahead and now continue with what we are supposed to do. Now, we know now how to find the domain and range. That's the reason why I didn't teach you tutorial sheet 2. Or is it tutorial sheet 2 where there is domain and range? Because I know to say there's a question here. But you should also look at the questions which are how to find the domain of this type of a question, and also this type of a question. You should go back. I think I solved the video that I posted. You should look at this. It's also very important. The ones which I've just written here. You should be able to know how to find the domain of those. Okay? So I posted the video. You can mute your mic. Before I remove you, you can mute your mic. Okay. Now let us sketch this. Sketching rational function, you need first to come up with the asymptote. Leave the meeting and join again. Guys, if your mic is not muted, we are wasting time for us to do a lot of things. So if your mic is not muted, we are wasting your time. It's not my time, but you are wasting your time because we are supposed to do at least a lot of things. So I can't continue because you're making noise. I asked you guys to say if you know how to find the domain and range. I don't want you to get confused. Whenever we're talking about the domain, if you know how to find the domain, then you know how to find the vertical asymptote. We use the same thing. Vertical asymptote, you get the denominator. 2x plus 8 is equal to 0. In this case, we're not going to say not equal to 0, but equal to 0. So for x, x is equal to negative 4. So my vertical asymptote is that x is equal to negative 4. Another thing is how to find the horizontal asymptote. The same method where I was saying bottom heavy, it applies here. So instead of me saying y is not equal to 0, I'll say y is equal to 0. That is the horizontal asymptote. Who is behind on how to find the horizontal asymptote and the vertical asymptote? You're not supposed to be confused here because the domain is the same as the vertical asymptote. The range is the same as horizontal asymptote. Then you need to find the intercept. To find the x-intercept, y should be equal to 0. Then solve for x. So y is equal to 5 divided by 2x plus 8. Where there is y, put 0. Now cross multiply. If you cross multiply here, you have 5 is equal to everything here times 0 is 0. 5 can never be equal to 0. Then you say no x-intercept. In that case, in simple terms, if x is not appearing on top here, then this function has got no x-intercept. If x is appearing on top, this function has got x-intercept. That's the simplest way. Have I made myself clear? After finding this, you need to find the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, x should be equal to 0. So y is equal to 5 divided by 2. Where there is x, put 0 plus 8. So y will be equal to 5 over 8. So when x is 0, y is 5 over 8. This is the only coordinate that I have. After doing this, I can now go ahead and sketch this. Here is my graph. The first thing what should come in your mind is the vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote, we're talking about x. X is negative 4. Put negative 4 here. Cut a line. Y, horizontal asymptote has to cut at y. So y is equal to 0 at this point. When we do that, then you look at this. In x we have got 0, in y 5 over 8. 5 over 8 is approximately 0 point something. It can be somewhere here. So I'll put 5 over 8. 5 over 8, comma 0, it is at this point. Meaning, the graph will start from the asymptote, running away from the asymptote, touching this point, and getting closer to that point. What you have done here, reflect this part opposite side. So the opposite of this side is here. I'm going to reflect this one to be that side. Put the arrows because we don't know where the graph is ending. This is the graph of function A. I know you are not confused. Then we can now solve part B. Since you are not confused. Part B, the first thing we have to find the vertical asymptote. Get the denominator equal to 0. So for x is equal to 4. This function is not bottom heavy. So the horizontal asymptote is going to be y is equal to negative x over x is negative 1. Let's find the intercept. To find the x-intercept, you write here x-intercept. Y should be equal to 0. So 0 is equal to 6 minus x divided by x minus 4. Here divided by 1. If you cross multiply, it will be 6 minus x. The denominator times 0 is 0. So therefore, 6 is equal to x. So when x is 6, y is 0. That is the first coordinate we are going to have. Go ahead and also find the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, x should be equal to 0. So y is equal to 6 minus, where there's x, put 0, then 0 minus 4. So y will be equal to 6 divided by negative 4. So y will be equal to 2 here. It will be negative 3 over 2. When x is 0, y is negative 3 over 2. If you have got both x and y intercept, you do not need to reflect the graph in some cases. But let's see. It's going to be reflected automatically, unless if it's going to be one-sided, then we are going to reflect in that case. There we go. What is our x-intercept? Also, the vertical asymptote is that x is equal to 4. I'll put 4 here. Draw a line cutting at 4. Y is equal to negative 1. I'll put negative 1 here. Draw a line cutting negative 1. The first guy that we have, in x is 6, in y we have 0. Where can we have that? I'll put it here, 6, 0. Sorry. In x is 6. So I can keep 6 to be here. In y is 0, so it is at this point. Not what I was doing. You have seen, right? I can be talking around.
Yes, well.
Yes, sir.
Now, I also have another coordinate here, which is in x is 0, which is this one. In y, we have got negative 3 over 2. Negative 3 over 2 is approximately negative 1 point something, which can be here. Negative 3 over 2. So this is the point. Like I said, in this case, the graph will be reflected automatically. It will come like that. You put arrows. Then we also have another coordinate here. It has been reflected automatically. It has to come here, then it comes there. Normal, it was supposed to come like this. It comes there, then it goes like that. But because I don't have space here, down, as you can see, so that's the reason why it has gone like madongo dongo downside here. Any question on how to sketch these graphs? People tend to have challenges on how to sketch this when it comes to for part E, which we are going to do right now. Part E, we already found the horizontal asymptote. Since it's bottom heavy, y is equal to 0. The vertical asymptote we already found. We said is what? X was equal to -5 and x was equal to 1. If you remember, the ones we said not equal to. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Let's find the x-intercept. Let's find the y-intercept. Y will be equal to 0 plus 3. Then here it will be 0 plus 0, just -5. So where there is x, put 0, so you end up having 3 over 5. 3 over -5. So when x is 0, y is -3 over 5. Who is behind on how I found this? I have plugged in 0 here. 0 squared is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Then it's 3 over -5. That is the y-intercept. We are good, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
To find the x-intercept, y should be equal to 0. So 0 will be equal to x plus 3 divided by x to the power 2 plus 4, x minus 5. If we cross multiply, we are going to have x plus 3. This 0 times everything down here, I'll end up having 0. Therefore, x is equal to -3. When x is -3, y is 0. This is now my x-intercept. Before I sketch, any problem there? My goal is to draw this graph. I want it to be very neat, so I need more space. X-intercept is at -5 and 1. Cut a line, cut a line. Y-intercept is at 0, cut a line at 0. Normal, or let me say normally, this graph is not supposed to touch the asymptote. In a case where we have got two vertical asymptotes and the function has also the x-intercept, the graph is going to violate the rules. It's going to cross the horizontal asymptote. What do I mean? Let us see. In x, we have got -3, 0. -3 can be approximately here. 0 is there. That's the point. Another one, we have got 0 in x, then y is -3 over 5. -3 over 5 is approximately 0 point something, which can be just there. -that. Again, another point will be here. As you can see, we are supposed, the graph is just telling me to say, it's supposed to come from here, it comes here, it comes there, and again, it touches there, and goes like that. It can't end like that, because there is a curve here, reflect this to the opposite side. So this has to be reflected here. There is also another curve here. It has to be reflected opposite side. That is my graph. I have done my best to teach you how to sketch rational functions, unless you have got a problem yourself. What's the problem now? On how to reflect? So it only crosses the horizontal asymptote when I have got the x-intercept, because I'm supposed to touch x. In a case where I have got the horizontal asymptote, I have got two x values. What I mean is the vertical asymptote I have found two. I also have the x asymptote, so the x-intercept. Then it's going to cross the horizontal asymptote. That's the law. Exactly. That only applies if there are only two vertical asymptote. But in other questions, like this question here, this one, it can't cross because we don't have x-intercept. It can't cross the horizontal asymptote. But it's going to have two vertical asymptote, but it can't cross the horizontal asymptote. One question has... Sorry? One thing I hate about this is because 1 hour, we have spent almost 30 minutes just to do one question. And yet there are other things that we need to do. You guys wanted to learn how to sketch modulus functions, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Iriko yonse. Sketch the graph of the modulus function below. In each case, use your graph to state the range of the function. In most cases, guys, let me be honest with you. If math, as you are going to have a short holiday, if you are still struggling with the first topics before you go in semester 2, I would advise you first you have to deal with those topics, because it's going to be so tiresome for you to do semester 1 work when you're about to write exam. So this is the best time where you can revise this. When you write the test, go back to semester 1 before you go to semester 2. Try to revise. Those who are going to be with me during the holiday, I'll be giving you some Tuma quizzes so that you should be able to practice. Then you have to go just a bit ahead of semester 2. Just a bit. This is not secondary where you have to finish the syllabus. If you overdo it, then you might do something that is not going to be covered. You get my point, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sketching modulus function is something that is very simple. I always teach this simple method because I know that you guys can't fail this. Get what is in the modulus only, equal to 0. 2x plus 8 is equal to 0. So for x, 2x is equal to negative 8. Divide it by 2, x will be equal to negative 4. Let me repeat myself. When you are sketching, this question is not talking about the defining. I think you guys have learned about the defining. But if you don't know anything about the defining, I have explained everything about the defining. It's there on YouTube. But this question is just saying sketch. Get what is in the modulus, equal to 0. So for x is equal to negative 4. Put x and y here and have this only 3 coordinate. Put negative 4 in between and get a number greater than negative 4, which is going to be negative 3, a number less than negative 4, which is negative 5. Who is behind on how to get this x coordinate?
Me, sir.
How come you are behind? Get what is in the modulus only, equal to 0. So for x, we have found that x is equal to negative 4. Make these to my coordinate just 3 points. Put negative 4 in between, get a number greater than negative 4, which is negative 3, a number less than negative 4, which is negative 5. You are still behind, but it's normal to be behind.
No, I've understood. Thank you.
Y is equal to 2x, the modulus of 2x plus 8. So y will be equal to the modulus of, where there is x, let's put negative 5 plus 8. So y will be equal to the modulus of negative 10 plus 8. Y will be equal to the modulus of negative 2. What is the modulus of negative 2? Is 2. So this is 2. Again, plug in negative 4. Negative 4 plus 8, I'll have negative 8 plus 8, which is going to give me 0. Again, plug in negative 3. The answer that you are going to find here, it will always be the same as the answer you are going to find here. If I plug in negative 3 here, I'll end up having negative 6. Negative 6 plus 8 is 2. So here it will be 2. When you find this, then you are done with sketching. Unless you have got a problem there, let me know. Any problem? Come up with a simple sketch. Put these coordinates. How do I put these coordinates? In x, I've got negative only. So I've got negative 5, negative 4, and negative 3. To make this graph to be neat, why can't I just shift this one to go this side and this one to go this side? Let me just leave it like that. In y, I have got 2, positive 2, and 0. What does it tell me? I start negative 5, 2, it is here. Negative 4, 0 is there. Negative 3, 2 is there. This graph starts from this point, coming here, it has to connect here and goes that side. Put arrows, we don't know where it is ending. I'm done with the sketching of that. Using the graph, we want to find the range. Even just using this, I can find the range. Range, these are values of y. In y, we are starting from 0, then we have 2. So it is the range 0 included all the way to positive infinity. Starting from this line, 0, going positive infinity. Any question? Which other question do you want me to sketch for you here? Just one? I will repeat the next one.
Question 5.
Which one is question 5?
G.
1 to G. Get what is in the modulus only, equal to 0. So for x, 8x is equal to 2. Divide it by 8, divide it by 8. X is equal to 1 over 4. xy, put this coordinate in between 1 over 4. Get a number greater than 1 over 4. What number can be that? I think 1. A number that is less than 1 over 4, I think is 0. You can put any. Now let's go. Y is equal to 7 minus, we are solving question G, the modulus of 8, where there is x, put 0, then minus 2. So y will be equal to 7 minus this is going to be 0. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. The modulus of negative 2 is negative 2. Therefore, y is equal to 5. So here it should be 5. Have you seen what has happened?
So,
Mm-hmm.
earlier you said the modulus of negative 2 is positive 2. It has become negative 2 again.
My friend, I have not said it has become negative 2. It's positive 2 because this negative is this negative here. So the modulus of negative 2 we have already come out as positive 2. But because there is negative here, it's the same negative which is appearing here down. You have seen it, right?
Yes.
Now let us go ahead and plug in now what? 1 over 4. So y will be equal to 7, positive 7 minus 8 where there is x, put 1 over 4, then that. This and this will give me 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. The modulus of 0 is 0. 7 minus 0 is 7. Are we together? Hmm?
Yeah, sure.
So then, if I put 1, it's going to be 8 times 1 minus 2. 8 times 1 minus 2 is what?
Positive 6.
Positive 6. So 7 minus 6?
Is positive 1.
Positive 1. Now, if you want to make things simple for modulus, what I can advise you is this. Did you see this number that I got here?
Yes.
Then if I come here and put negative 1, I think I would have come and find the same answer for this guy and that guy, not so? But even like that, it's alright. It's still fine. It will still come out perfect. In x we have got 0, 1 over 4 and 1. So I'll put 1 over 4 here and 1. What does it mean? 0, 5. In y we have got 5, 7 and 1. I'll put 1 here, I'll put 5 here and 7 here. So then I can start with 0, 5. In x 0, then 5 is here. Not so. Then 1 over 4, 7 is there. Then 1, 1 is here. What does it mean? This graph, it can even tell you to say it's going to come like that. It reaches there, then it goes down like that. Put the arrows, we don't know where it is ending. The question you can ask me is, how did you know that it's going to be like that instead of that? Not so.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to explain this using two concepts. Just before the modulus, there is negative here. This negative tells me that this graph will come out like this. So because there is negative here, there is negative there, me personally, I'll be able to know that the graph will come out like that. But if you still don't understand like that, you are going to have only three points. So I have this point here, I have this point here, I have this point here. Definitely I know that the modulus, it can either be like this or like this. So meaning that I know that it has to come like that. If I have a point here, I have a point here, I have got a point here, I know that it's going to be like that. You have seen it, right?
Yes.
I'm extremely tired. What else do you want me to teach you?
Oh, so, break it down. Yeah, which is modulus.
The what?
Inequalities involving modulus. Yes, first one question.
Eh,
Also question 4. The radical.
some are saying radical, some are saying inequality involving what. So what should we do?
Radical question. Inequalities involving modulus.
Or nivitaka techavi?
No, sir. One question on articles and one question was modulus. Yes, one just. Yes, inequality.
Modulus function or modulus equation. Mute your mics. Mute your mics. Mute your mics. Mute your mics. My time is not with us. You need to go back and redo this thing. So I solved this question almost like I solved the whole of this tutorial sheet. So for those who are registered with us, I'm going to show you where question 1 and these other questions where they are, since you complained that you are only able to hear the voice but you can't see the screen. Let's solve one question here. Mute your mics. Okay. Which question do you want me to solve? They will not even bring a hard one. Okay, it has to be there. Others saying H, others saying C. So here we have to get rid of the frac of this, then we are going to square. If I square, these two and the big square root will go and I will remain with this. Plus x outside is equal to 5 squared is 25. Shift x to go to the other side, you remain with x minus 5 is equal to 25 minus x. Again you square. So this and that will cancel. I'll have x minus 5 is equal to 25 times 25 is 225. 25 times x is 25x. X times 25, 25x. And negative x times negative x squared. This is now a quadratic equation. Shift everything here to go to the other side. And you remain with 0 here. So 25 to 25, I've shifted this to the other side, it will be
25 times 25 is 625.
is 625, not 225.
No.
Thank you. 625. Now we are shifting everything to go to the other side, so it will be 625. If I shift negative 5 to come here, it will be plus 5. Then minus, if I add these two, I'll end up having 50x. Then I shift this x to go to the other side, it will be minus x plus x squared. Who is still behind here now? In simple terms, I've got x squared. This will be negative 51x plus 625.
Sir,
Mm.
I have a question, sir.
Oh, just a minute. 625 plus 5 is 630. You can now ask.
Yes. Reading the when you were starting the calculations
Mm,
on the since you squared on the left hand side,
mm.
why did not x also been affected by the square there?
Which question are we solving, sir?
Question C.
It has got how many square root?
It has got two.
So this car 2 and the big square root have gone. So I've remained with this square root, which is just covering x and 5, which is here.
Okay. I've seen now, so I've seen.
Using this formula, I know you'll be able to find the answer. So you were confused on how to come from here. Now use the product and sum. So it has got big numbers, but there is a product and sum which we can use here and we'll be able to get the answer. Negative 51 and this other one. I think, what is 25 and 26? If we do times, what are we going to have? No, that one I think it can't work. But there are two numbers which when you do times, they will give you 630. And when you do minus, they will give plus, they will give you negative 51. So when you get those numbers, I believe you'll be able to solve. If you can't manage using that, you can use the long division, the quadratic one. Then you'll be able to find. Because of time, these are the questions I solved. I think you guys managed to watch my video. If you didn't, then I don't know what you are waiting for. So you said I should solve also another question under what?
Question 6.
Which one is question 6? In inequalities, it can take almost 30 minutes for us just to solve one question. But I solved these questions. Is it okay if I can send you the link in the group and then you'll be able to watch this? If you still have questions, you ask in the group because it's involving.
Yes, it's very much okay. It's okay. It's okay, yes.
Which other question do you want me to solve? The last one. Let's do the last one. Question what?
Question 4. Question 4E.
Okay, so question 4, all of them, I think I solved as well. So I'll be able to send you the video. Maybe you talk of question 2.
We have questions about questions on rational functions involving modulus.
The,
Involving modulus.
the inequalities.
Inequality.
So the inequalities involving modulus is in the tutorial sheet for 1100. So for that one, I have reserved. We are going to have another class before your test for 1100. That's why I've not talked about it, because we are doing it for the sake of these guys who are doing it tomorrow. Now let me before we waste time, I want to show you the things that you are supposed to focus on. The first thing that I want you guys to understand, I think it can be better if I show you the tutorial sheet. Or maybe I send in the group. Okay, I'm going to send something in the group, then you should follow through from the group. I hope everyone is in the group. Now, before you finish, let me first tell you this from tomorrow. As long as you don't know the question, If the question requires you to think, stop wasting time, leave it and start solving another question. You get my point, right? Don't be defeated before you go for test. At least eat before going. You can collapse. This is math, Vane. Okay? Another thing that you need to take note is in math we only solve what we know and leave what you don't know. You can't be solving something that you don't know. Okay, so for today we end there. Those who want to learn with me during this holiday, yes, you'll be able to learn with Transcended Institute. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time.